Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade. I am Pete, and this is, I believe, my 100th Steam Deck video on the channel. Yes, 100 videos. I've been having a blast on this channel talking about the Steam Deck, and to the point where it's some of my most engaging content on the channel that generates the most interesting comments and feedback, because I do play the series that are the majority of those videos are the It's Playable series, and it's all about playing games that aren't verified on the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck's a big part of my gaming life. I just did a video about how it changed my gaming life, and I'm serious about that. But today we're talking about something different. We're talking about some of the reasons why people aren't jumping on the Steam Deck, why they won't buy it. And these are comments and feedback I've received through the past 100 videos on my channel. And I thought it would be interesting to talk a little bit about this and give you my perspective on it. These aren't my reasons because I own a Steam Deck, but it's important to share a different perspective on the channel sometimes. So, the reason that kind of triggered this video for me is there's been reports all over the news media, gaming news media, I should say, about the Steam Deck hitting 3 million units sold in 2023. And there's no official numbers, they're just going by a lot of ancillary data that's out there and stuff like that. But in 2022, since its launch in February of 2022, the estimate around 1.6 1.7 million units sold in 2022, and then they expect another 1.8 million units sold in 2023. Again, very, kind of, I don't know if these numbers are 100% fact, but hey, it's a good representation. And Valve is not out challenging these numbers, so it tells me there's some truth there. So 3 million units sold might sound like a lot, but that still places the Steam Deck in the kind of niche gaming, niche PC market, actually, and even bigger niche of the overall gaming market if you include console and mobile gaming. But it's important to know that Valve put out a product, they brought it to market, and they've been fairly successful with it. And very seldom a system will come out and just be gangbusters right away, whether it's console or PC, right? I think the original PlayStation is probably the one that came out from a company that had not generated a game console before and just took over the world, right? And so I equate a lot of what Valve's done with the Steam Deck, their first foray at a fully functional and realized handheld console, hybrid console, PC, whatever you want to call it. So let's talk about some of the reasons. I wanted to settle on 5, but I might have some bonus things in there. And again, please let me know what you think. Some of the reasons you are not buying a Steam Deck, or you don't want to buy a Steam Deck, you're not interested in buying a Steam Deck. Please share those in the comments as always. So let's hit that subscribe, smash that like button, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first one is price, right? You might not think that's a barrier of entry. It is for a lot of people who already own a PC or a home console or a very expensive mobile device. But the price. So you can get a starter Steam Deck for $399 USD. That's you're going to get pretty much the same unit that you're going to get at the next level and the next tier up. So at $399, you're getting the 64 gigabyte model, the eMMC. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you'll get the 256 or the 512. In Canadian dollars, which I am Canadian, it's like $500 for the entry unit, $660 for the mid tier, and for the high end is $819 tax included. So it is a bit of a barrier. For me personally, I got the 512 because I wanted the extra storage, I wanted the anti-glare screen, and I really didn't have a gaming PC, so this is pretty much it. But the price is a barrier of entry for some people, especially if this is not going to be their main PC, their main console, their main gaming device. But I honestly, my opinion on this, and I'll say some of the reasons, and I'll give you my own opinion whether I agree or disagree with it. I think they hit the price really well out of the gate with $399 USD for the initial system. And you never know, that might come down over the life of this system. The next one is the tech. Okay, so a lot of people aren't getting it because they think the system is underpowered. And when comparing it to other products out there like the Ion Neo, the Ion Neo 2, the ROG Ally, I think it's the ROG Ally that just got announced and stuff like that. But there's other things. They don't like the screen. They wanted a full 1080p or OLED screen. They're not too sold on the battery life. And I totally understand that. So they've made their decision that they want the latest and greatest. But for the price point, going back for number one, I think the price point's pretty good. So they just don't want to jump on there. They're going to another platform because of the tech, and they want the latest tech. So for me, you know, that's not a big thing for me because, of course, I want higher performance, but for a lot of that higher tech, you're going to pay a much higher price range. The next one I think is very important that's been brought up in a lot of my comments and by myself too, is people aren't tinkerers. And what that means is they don't feel comfortable adjusting a lot of the settings, modding their system, doing things that will allow them to enjoy the games better, or maybe possibly enjoy the game better, or unlock a lot of things that power users would do. Now, I've said it tons of times on my channel and in the comments, I am not a tinkerer. I am playing the stock Steam Deck, and I do any minor fiddling, but it's all within the realm of what the Steam Deck offers, whether it's the Steam Deck OS or going into the desktop mode and getting Battle.net working. But I don't do anything more than that. I want to experience all the games through Steam Deck OS or through compatibility mode using their Proton layer. That's as far as I go. And I don't want to tinker. I don't want to go in and configure a lot of people. So people are kind of put off with that. And in general, they equate the Steam Deck to a PC, in which we all know PC games, when they come out, you have tons of settings that you have to configure to your video card, your CPU, your GPU, your RAM, and all that kind of thing. And they just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I respect that. So I personally play it as stock as most as possible, and I'm just not a tinkerer. And that turns off some people because they can go buy a Nintendo Switch and they don't have to tinker with anything. Everything is just set for it. There are people on the fence. Why? It's been out it'll be 2 years in February of 2024. They're a year and a half in. They're seeing what the Steam Deck's doing, and they follow the industry and they understand that upgrades will come. So they're on the fence and they're waiting for the Steam Deck 2, perhaps. I've heard that in my comments. I've heard people talking about it. Valve has said that don't expect one anytime soon, but people are just on the fence, right? Or they don't want to get the Steam Deck in its first production run. They want to get the deck in its second production run. Just like with home consoles where they update the GPU, they make it smaller, they do things. It's still the original PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, but every year they revise it to make it a more efficient, cheaper way to build it. So they're waiting for either a Deck 2 or the newer versions of the CPU and GPU, the size to get it smaller, stuff like that. Maybe they're looking for the slim model. They're that crowd, right? That they just don't jump on anything. They don't buy the first production run of a car or console. They wait for year 2 or 3. So there are people out there. So you can kind of split that into two camps, waiting for the Deck 2, waiting for a year and a half. And I personally have done that in the past. I've waited for a production run to end, for them to work out all the bugs, find the efficiencies, update the chips or whatever, and then buy the second model of it. So I think that's an okay thing to hold off buying the Steam Deck. The games. The next one's the games. The games they want to play are not on the system. Okay, Steam and Valve, they play a crap ton of games. There's so many games available, but not them all. Any game that uses an anti-cheat software will not really function on the stock deck. You'd have to go in and do a lot of tinkering to get it to work. And people don't want to do that. They just want to be able to click play and it plays. But if you're into games that have the anti-cheat software, you're not going to be able to play it. Also exclusives on Windows 11 and on other ecosystems like the Epic Store games. If you want to play those and that's your jam, or certain Game Pass games, that's your jam, you can't necessarily play those games. They're not on the deck, certain ones of those. Or certain first-party games from Sony aren't available. They become available on Steam Deck much later, but they're not available on launch. And of course, Nintendo exclusives. You ain't going to find any Mario running on the system, or Zelda, And of course, there'll be people saying, well, you can, do it all through emulation. No, we're only talking about, and yes, you can do that, but we're only talking about what's available on the stock Steam Deck. And so people don't want to buy it because they can't play the games they want to play on it right now. And I think that will always be a forever problem for that type of person where they just won't go and get the Steam Deck. And I think that's okay. A couple bonus ones for you. This one's probably pretty obvious to a lot of you. They're not ready to jump in the handheld world. They want their home console. They want their PC. They want their massive gaming rig. They want their PS5, PS6, Xbox Series, whatever they call. They want the big screen. They don't care that you could put a Steam Deck into a dock. They are just not ready or willing or don't even want to play on the go. They don't want to be able to run dungeons in their jammies on the toilet. Well, personally, in your jammies, you're in the bed. You get what I'm saying. They just don't want to do that, and that's all right. And probably the biggest one of the biggest reasons why the people are not buying the Steam Deck, it's not available. It's literally not available in their part of the world, which kind of is interesting, right? Because right now the Steam Deck's available U.S., Canada, UK, certain parts of the EU. I believe you can get it through a third party in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Can't get it in Australia as of this video. Can't get it in tons of parts of the world. It's just not there to get. So that's probably a big barrier, right? Why they haven't bought one yet. So there you go. That's kind of 5 reasons why I've heard, 7 actually, of people why they're not getting the Steam Deck. So 3 million. Will the Steam Deck ever hit 10 million? Who knows, right? I think it's got a fairly decent kind of headwind in front of them because they have to, get out. They're in a niche already. They have to push forward. They have to, work on their compatibility. They have to do a lot of things. But I love the fact that I'm a PC gamer now, and it's all because of the Steam Deck. Of course, I still play console games and stuff, but primarily, I'm a decker. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe, smash that like button. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, everyone.